Okay, so in this video, I am going to walk you through the steps on how to complete challenge number 9, which is the stretch text effect. So you're going to be creating something like this. So if you look at the instructions, we're going to open Photoshop. We'll click Create New and choose the default Photoshop size. Click Create. We're going to use our paint bucket to color the background black. And then we're going to use the text tool to draw a text box, write our name. And then we're going to customize the text to our liking, the font, the color, the size, the format, and the style. And then we'll use the move tool and drag the text to the center. So I'm going to do all 6 of these steps right now. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate those, okay? So I'm going to open Photoshop first. I'm going to click New File in the top left corner. I'm going to use the default Photoshop size, and then in the bottom right, I'll click Create. And we're going to turn our background black. So find your paint bucket. If you don't see it on your toolbar, it will be hidden under the gradient tool. So hold your mouse down on the gradient tool, go to your paint bucket, make sure in the bottom left corner that your color is black. If it's not, click on it and drag your little circle to the bottom left corner to make it black. Click OK, click on your screen or on your drawing canvas and it'll turn it black, okay? Next, we're going to add our text box. So go back to your toolbar and find the T for text. You're going to hold down your mouse and you're going to draw a text box across your screen. Now, I don't see any text right now, and the reason I'm not seeing text, those Latin words that Photoshop uses, the reason I'm not seeing any is my background is black, and if I look up here on my toolbar, look at my text is also black, so I can't see black on black. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm just going to choose a different color. So maybe I'll choose like a bright green or something like that, and you can choose whatever color you want. And now I can see my text, and you can go ahead and change your font, change your size if you need to, whatever you need to do, and then type your word. So I'm just going to type the word stretch, and I'm going to click my little check mark here. And I forgot what I was supposed to do after I did that, so let me see. Okay, so I use the text tool to draw a text box and write my text. I customize the text to my liking, font, color, size, format, style. Oh, use the move tool and drag your text to the center. All right, so I didn't do that part. So I'm going to use my move tool, top left corner, your top tool of your toolbar is your move tool. And I'm going to put my mouse on the letters and stretch, and I'm going to move it to the center. Okay, I'm going to go back to my instructions, and I am on step 7. Choose Control T to bring up my sizing handles. And then if you look at number 8, I'm going to use my sizing handles to increase the size of my word so it takes up about half the canvas, and then move my word to the top. Okay, so I'm going to go back. You're going to hold down your Control key, and you're going to type the letter T. Whoops, let me just make sure. I probably don't have you have to make sure your layer is selected. So make sure your text layer is selected. Control T brings up the sizing handle. If you need to make your text bigger, if it wasn't big enough, I want it to take up, go across the screen pretty much. I'm going to, after I extend it, I'm going to press my check mark up here to accept my changes. And then you're going to drag it to the top center. So we're going to place it kind of there in the top center. Okay. I'm going to go back to my instructions. And I am going to be on step 10. Right click on the text layers and choose Convert to Shape. So we're going to convert this to a shape. It will no longer be a text layer. If you look in the bottom right, you're going to right click on your text layer and find the words Convert to Shape. Convert to Shape. Okay, that's going to turn it into an image as opposed to a text. Okay, so I converted to a shape. I'm going to go back to my instructions. And I'm going to go to step 11 on the toolbar, where I'm going to hold down the mouse on the patch selection tool, which is the arrow, and choose the direct selection tool. Okay, I'm going to show you where that is. Make sure your text layer is still selected. On this toolbar over here, find the arrow key. Look at it's right below text. Hold your mouse down on it, and I want you to choose the direct selection tool, this bottom one. Okay, you're going to notice all these little blue squares surrounding your word. Okay, that's what we're going to be dealing with. Okay, so if you look at step 12, take your mouse and starting in the bottom right corner, drag, I have to change this, it should be across and up to select the bottom half of your word. So watch where I'm going to take my mouse. I'm going to start below the H, kind of like right here, right below it. I'm going to hold down my mouse. I'm going to drag just about halfway up my word and drag all the way across. So notice how it's selected, okay, about halfway up my word. All the way across all my letters. Notice now half of my little squares are blue, the other half are white. The blue is what is going to allow us to stretch, okay? So let me go back to the instructions. Step 13 says, while holding the Shift key on your keyboard, place your mouse over one of the tiny blue squares and drag down to stretch your text, okay? So I'm going to go back, hold Shift on your keyboard, put your mouse on any of these little blue squares, and you're going to stretch down. And now my text is stretched, okay? And we are done. The only adjustments you might want to make, I'm going to do a Control Z, and if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to stretch from higher up on the word, you can make your box go higher, and then when I hold Shift and drag, it stretches from a different point of the word. So notice that stretch, or I'm going to Control Z. If I only want a little stretch at the bottom, I can just make my box go along the bottom, and then when I hold Shift and drag, it will stretch the bottom part. So it really just depends on what you want stretched as to how high up you draw that box around your letters, okay? When you are done, you will go to File, Save As. You're going to get the different box than me, but you're going to click Save to Creative Cloud. Mine is going to be over here, and I'm going to name this Stretch. I'm going to click Save. And then in order to submit it in Canvas, you're going to have to go to File, Export, do a quick export as PNG, find your ID number. I'm not going to save mine, but you will find your ID number and save to your ID number and submit that way, okay? So let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, good luck with this one, okay?